Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Calypso Cigar Review Quickie. I am your host Brandon Luna, and today we'll be reviewing one of those cheap bastard cigars. What's a cheap bastard cigar, you asked? Well, it's a cigar that you can get for really cheap that's halfway decent. Decent enough that you can smoke it every day, still enjoy the cigar. It's not repugnant, it's just good. So hopefully we've got one today. Today's cheap bastard cigar is the Liga IV Almirante. It is a 5.5 by 43 cigar that is supposedly made at the Toronto factory. So what I'm finding online, there's not a whole lot else out there about this cigar, other than you can get it at CI, you can get it at CBID, and you can get them pretty cheap. How cheap, you ask? Well, you can find these on CBID sometimes, 25 in a bundle for $16. That's pretty freaking cheap. That's under $1 a piece. That way, you smoke it, you get halfway through, you can toss it, not feel guilty about the purchase. It's something that is listed as very mild, but a lot of the reviews I've read have said it's pretty damn tasty. So, let's hope. So we're going to go ahead and give it a cut and a light, and I'll let you know what I think after the first third. Looking at the wrapper, it's pretty ugly. I mean, the wrapper is it's very veiny. Yeah, it's definitely an inexpensive cigar. It's very toothy. There's lots of bumps on it and stuff that you can see. The smell on the foot is actually got a little sweet tobacco smell to it. It's not barnyardy at all, which I kind of expected. Not bad. So we'll see. Give it a cut and a light. Let you know what I think after the first third. All right, everybody, we're at the end of the first third of the Liga IV, and I gotta say I'm pretty surprised. It is not what I expected at all. I was really pretty much expecting it to taste like paper and not much else, but this actually has some flavor to it. It's got a little creaminess to it. It's got a little bit of spice, but not a whole lot, but there is still some spice there. And it's got a very cedary note to it. And actually, through the retrohale, a slight floral note, almost like a rose or something like that, if you've ever had that. That's basically what it's like. You take a big whiff of, roses, and then you blow it out, and it's that leftover kind of rose scent that's just kind of lingering there. And check this out. Look at the ash. The ash is holding on. Very surprised by that. I figured this was a short filler because it doesn't say anything about it being a long filler, but maybe it's a long filler. That ash is really surprising me. So, you can't judge a book by its cover. It's an ugly ass book. I mean, if this was a book, it would be missing the cover, and a couple of pages would be missing, and you probably wouldn't want to read it, but you give it a read anyway, guess what? Ends up being a decent book. So don't judge a book by its cover, people. Now, this is only the first third. I'm going to get into the second third here, and it might suck balls. You never know. But I'm going to go ahead and give it that amount of time, and come back to you on the second third, let you know what I think. All right, so we're about to the middle of the second third, and I wanted to give you a little update. For under $1, you wouldn't expect a cigar to be complex, but this cigar has some complexity to it. The flavor shifted from that, pretty much spicy wood to a very buttery note that just kicked in. I mean, I had a couple of puffs on this where it felt like I was sticking a butter in my mouth, just like, a whole pat of butter in my mouth. It was very, very buttery and very, very woodsy. And the wood is like, not a cedar wood, but maybe like an oak wood. So it's like, you wake up in the morning, you get a piece of oak, you spread some butter on it, and you shove it in your mouth. That's pretty much what this cigar is. But in a good way, because that sounds disgusting. So, for under $1, I mean, for $1 even, for $1.50, that's a good smoke. I mean, I'm very, very surprised, and it's holding up. I mean, I'm usually getting about an inch worth of ash each time, and it's a decent ash too. It's not like a really ugly ash. I mean, it's a little splintery. You can see it's kind of splintering a bit, but you could do worse. And I think there's other Connecticut's that are more expensive on the market that don't have as much flavor as this. So, unless it goes bitter on the last third, I'm pretty impressed with this right now. Color me impressed. And I think that color would probably be purple. So yeah, you know, even if it goes south on the last third, even if it was to go south on that last third, you still got, you know, a first third and a second third of a decent smoke. You can toss it on the last third and it's a buck, you know. So right now I'm very impressed with the Liga IV. We'll see how it fares on the last third. I'll be back for an update. All right, so I'm officially at the last third of the Liga IV, pretty much at the finger burning stage, and yeah, you know, I'm very impressed by this cigar for how much it cost. Even if it was a $5 cigar, I'd be like, hey, I'd smoke that again. It was good. It's very good. You get a lot of that floral note through the nose. I mean, it's like basically you're snorting roses at your nose. So if you like that, great. If you don't, that might not be your favorite feature of it. But just don't retrohale. You don't really get the rose flavor unless you retrohale. There is a lot more spice at the tail end of it, and it's not burning hot, surprisingly. As small as that ring gauge is, as long as you're pulling on it at a good pace, you get about 45 minutes out of this, maybe 50, and it's going to be a decent smoke for you. Yeah, so, and the best thing, and this is great, if you have friends that don't really smoke cigars, but they hear you talk about them all the time, and they're like, ooh man, I want to try some of those Ligas you keep talking about, those must be great. Give them one of these. They won't know the difference. It's a Liga, right? It says it right on the band. Woot. Save you some money, and you don't waste a Liga Privada. And, oh, I forgot to mention, on the band it says these are aged 7 years, so who knew? You know, whatever. So yeah, find them, buy them. If you like a mild smoke for early in the morning with some coffee, which is what I did. On the first third, I was, you know, just basically nothing, just smoked the cigar. Second third, I added some coffee to it, and yeah, it works really well with coffee. That butteriness and that creaminess really goes well with the coffee. So yeah, you can't really go wrong at the price that it is. I mean, you're talking 25 of these for 25 bucks retail, but you can go 25 for 19 or 22 bucks or even 16 on CBID if you're lucky. You know, CBID's a pain in the ass. You got to put the time in to try and get the good deals on it, but yeah, I mean, I'd buy these all day long at 25 for 25 as just something to kick around the backyard with, something to give to people for non-smokers that want to try something. It's got some complexity to it, surprisingly, and it's tasty. So give the Liga IV a try. It's definitely a good, cheap bastard smoke. So as always, check us out at all the normal places. Go to Podomatic, Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio. Give us the heart there. Give us the 5 stars on iTunes. Give us the comments. We love them. Go to YouTube, subscribe, give us the comments. All that does is make it easier for people to find the show, and we always want more people to find the show. So as always, it's been great smoking with you. Later.